any enlightening beings who have thoroughly fulfilled the course of the 6th stage come to the 7th stage. They gain access to the 7th stage by means of 10 kinds of special undertaking in the path, which are accomplished by skill and means, transcendent wisdom, and knowledge. What are these 10? They develop a mind well trained in focus on emptiness, signlessness, and wishlessness. Yet they collect great provisions of virtue and knowledge. They enter into the selfless absence of being, absence of soul, absence of individuality, and absence of personality in all things, yet they do not give up the production of the 4 immeasurables: immeasurable kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. They perform transcendent practices to increase virtuous ways, yet they do not cling to anything. They become detached from everything in the world, yet they produce arrays of adornments for the world. They become ultimately calm and tranquil due to the removal from the fires of afflictions. Yet they undertake to accomplish the extinction of the flames of affliction of lust, hatred, and delusion of all beings. They realize the non-duality of essence of being and non-being, all things being like illusions, mirages, dreams, reflections, echoes, apparitions. Yet they put into effect resolution in innumerable different deeds and works. They have cultivated the perception that all lands and paths are equal to space. Yet they undertake the adornment of Buddha lands. They arrive at the nature of all Buddhas as being fundamentally and essentially the reality body, yet they undertake the production of the adornments of the marks of distinction and embellishments of the physical body of a Buddha. They grant that the voice of the Buddha is unutterable, free from sound, and by nature ultimately silent. Yet they undertake the production of pure arrays of all different tones to communicate with all beings. In a single instant, they enter Buddha's awareness of past, present, and future. Yet they enter into distinctions of various appearances, ages, and reckonings by discernment of beings' minds. By these 10 kinds of special undertaking on the path, accomplished by skill and means, wisdom, and knowledge, enlightening beings enter the 7th stage. And they are said to be in this stage by virtue of the manifestation of the practices of these undertakings. Enlightening beings in this 7th stage penetrate infinite realms of beings, unlimited acts of guidance by which Buddhas develop beings, infinite networks of worlds, infinite purification of Buddha lands by the enlightened ones, the infinite variety of phenomena, the infinite realization of knowledge of Buddhas, the unlimited methods of calculating ages, the Buddha's immeasurable awareness of past, present, and future, the infinite differences in beings' interests, the infinite variety of manifestations of the material body of Buddhas, the infinite variety of mental dispositions and faculties of beings, the infinite gladdening of the stream of beings by the utterances of the Buddhas, the infinite varieties of mental actions of beings, the Buddha's infinite following of the progress of knowledge, the infinite variety of application to the way of emancipation of the vehicle of listeners, the infinite manifestations of teachings of the path of the Buddhas, the infinite consumption of the attainment of the vehicle of individual illuminates, the infinite teachings of ways of ingress into the profound knowledge of the Buddhas, the infinite application of enlightening beings to the conduct of enlightening beings, and the Buddha's infinite teaching of entry into the assembly of the great vehicle. It occurs to the enlightening beings that the spheres of the Buddhas, those who have realized thusness, the perfectly enlightened ones, are infinite and could not be counted even in hundreds of millions of billions of trillions of eons, and that they themselves should develop these spheres of Buddhas and fulfill them effortlessly, without vain thought, without false discrimination. Thus, perspicacious mystic knowledge, continuous application, replete with skill and means and wisdom, they become well established in these special undertakings on the path by unshakable application. While undertaking the accomplishments of the path, they do not leave it for a moment. Even while walking, standing, sitting, reclining, and even sleeping, they are devoted to the accomplishment of knowledge. They are free from all obstruction. They maintain proper conduct, and they keep in mind such thoughts by the inspiration of which they collectively fulfill the 10 transcendent ways of enlightening beings. In that way do the enlightening beings dedicate each thought, led by great compassion, to the fulfillment of Buddhahood and enlightened knowledge. The giving to beings of their own roots of goodness by those attending to living beings compassionately while seeking enlightened knowledge is their transcendent generosity. The extinguishing of the burning of all afflictions is their transcendent discipline. Tolerance toward all beings out of kindness and compassion is their transcendent forbearance. Strength in tireless undertaking of ultimately good practices is their transcendent vigor. Proceeding toward omniscient knowledge without distraction is transcendent meditation. Tolerance in face of the essential non-origination of all things is their transcendent wisdom. The accomplishment of unlimited knowledge is their transcendent skill in means. The realization of the penetration of knowledge of the ultimate undertaking is their transcendent vowing. Not suffering their path to be cut off by any opponents or gangs of demons is their transcendent power. The accomplishment of knowledge of all things as they are is their transcendent knowledge. Thus are the 10 transcendent ways of enlightening beings fulfilled in every instant in this stage, which is called far-going. In the same way, the 4 means of salvation, the 4 powers, the 37 elements of enlightenment, the 3 doors of liberation, in sum, all aspects of enlightenment are fulfilled moment to moment.